whatever you're up to. If you're feeling lonely and blue, I'm here for you and I've got stories too. If you're feeling lost and alone, I hope with my voice you'll feel at home. This is Sarah's Bedtime Stories, the Art of 20s. Hey, cake lovers! We've got an amazing deal just for you from the Sweet Pastry Lubao branch. It's my birth month, and throughout the month of June, we are celebrating with a 20 peso discount on our 8x3 cakes. Simply use the code SARAH20 when you order to claim your discount. These cakes are baked with love and will make your taste buds sing. But hurry! This offer is only valid for the month of June at the Sweet Pastry Lubao branch. Visit their Facebook page and use SARAH20 when you place your order. You deserve a slice of heaven today. That's it for now. Enjoy your cake from the Sweet Pastry Lubao branch and don't miss out on this delicious June exclusive deal. Bye! What's next? Hi. It's boring. Nothing feels exciting. I need to spice it up. Have you ever felt this way? Everything feels like a routine. The same things, the same feelings, the same sentiments. I remember one line from my students' film before. It's like in Tagalog, it says, gigising, papasok, kakain, matutulog. Gigising, papasok, kakain, matutulog. Not sure with the exact line, but as far as I can remember, it feels like this way. Everything is routine, the same things. I'm not sure, but this is how I remember it. And you will feel the same feelings when you watch it. When you feel this feeling, you might ask the question, what's next? I thought I would only ask this question when I feel like ASDFGHJKL. For those who listened to my previous episodes, I think it's episode 9 and 10 in season 1, you already know what I mean when I say ASDFGHJKL. It means a feeling that I cannot understand, that makes me sad, or that makes me want to scream out loud. Have you ever felt that when you start a certain goal, it excites you and everything feels so good at the beginning? Or when you start something, like starting a new goal, makes you do everything to achieve it, to make it possible. I remember when I started setting my goal to lose weight, during the first days, or should I say first hours, I am doing my best, really. I feel really excited about it. Try this, try that. And I do have a lot of ideas on how to make it possible when I start the goal. But for some, they say that when you start something, it's usually the hardest. But it feels different for me, that when I start something, I feel like that's when the time that I am really motivated, because I do have a lot to try, to experiment with, things like that. Seriously, when I started doing this podcast, everything excites me. Everything about it excites me. I have a lot of ideas in my mind, a lot of stories to share, a lot of topics to write about. And I guess this was evident from my episodes. When I started my first episode, it is only 15 minutes. But then it went from 15 to 30, and I also did an episode that is almost an hour. So it proves that Sarah is so madaldal. Other than these personal stories, I also remember when there's a new business in our place. When they are starting out, people love to buy from them because it's new. There are a lot of engagement going on because people want to try it because it's quote unquote new. But when they are doing it consistently, when people are getting used to that business, I feel like day by day, it's not growing or the business is not at its peak anymore. It's just okay. It gives me the thought again, what's next? Should I just accept this feeling, this consistent just okay feeling, or I need to do something about it to think of new ways for me to reach that peak again? Things like this. I remember when I was younger, years ago, I just wanted to graduate from college. Then I wanted to be a DJ. And then after being a DJ, I wanted to be a teacher. It's not that I already know what I want in the end. For me, it's just a step-by-step kind of thing. Like when I reach this one, I'm good. I'm okay with it. And then I'll have another one or I'll have another goal. So back then, I remember that's just what I'm praying for, to graduate in college and then to be a DJ. And then when I became a DJ, I decided to teach. And then when I met such amazing students, I was okay. And I just want to land a job that will provide my needs. And then I remember back then I only want this specific salary and then I'm good. So things like you just thought that it's okay, but that desire comes in again and then you are setting new goals. I don't know if this is how human nature works, but I remember back then when I was able to reach these goals, I was okay. I feel like everything now is okay. I think I have mentioned this on my previous podcast episodes. I came to that point that I don't know anymore what to do because the goals that I have set are met. And this feeling will make you feel everything in your life is just monotonous. Like you will miss those moments that you are excited, motivated, eager. You will crave for that oomph feeling. So when you reach that certain point, I think you will ask yourself, what should I do next? I remember when you graduate, there is this celebration. You feel like you have fulfilled something or you have achieved something. And you are happy. But it doesn't last for a long time. Eventually, after that, you will realize that there is something that you need to do. After you graduate, there is this need that you need to work or build your business to provide for your needs. And once you started working or when you started building your business, eventually you would want something more. Like you want to have that promotion, you want to have that increase in your profit, to expand your business. You want to grow eventually. And then I just realized, is it really a question of what's next to keep you going or to make you excited about your life? The reason why I thought of this episode is because the people behind this podcast, my listeners, definitely my former students, are mostly graduating or have already graduated by this time that I have produced this podcast episode. I remember because I grew with them. That's what my students said. Hi, special mention to Sop, to Ed, to Marlo. Yeah. So they have mentioned this to me during our Instagram live that the reason why, this is just a side note, but the reason why I love them or they know me and I know them, it's because we grew together. When I was in my early 20s, I was a teacher and they were my students. And that's the part of my life where I discovered a lot about myself during those days. But anyway, I remember now that I am seeing their graduation photos, I get excited, and I remember back then, during their senior high days, their only goal is to pass that exam, pass that thesis defense, and then eventually their goals became to graduate college. And now that they have graduated or are about to graduate, they want to earn a living. Some want to pass their board exams, some plan to study abroad, different goals, but it feels like they have also experienced a question of what's next. What's next? Sometimes it's pressure, because sometimes you just don't know what's next, or you just don't want to worry about what's next, because when you don't know what's next and then you're pressuring yourself to figure out the answer, well, actually it's kind of depressing for some. I have a friend who told me about that. She's having a hard time of thinking what's next, and I think that's normal, or that is okay. On the contrary, I also have this friend who knows what's next for him, because he already set up his plan, like his long-term goal, and all he needs to do is to figure out what's the next step in reaching that long-term goal. So different people and different ways. But for me, I just realized that the question, what's next, can sometimes be a motivation for me. Because before, when I felt everything is just okay, nothing's exciting, what made me overcome that ASDFGHJKL feeling is this podcast. And now I have produced 28 podcast episodes with listeners. So far, I don't have any episode with 0 plays. Anyway, with this podcast, I'm not sure what's next, but I really want something from this. So right now, I am thinking of the next steps or next plans for the podcast. And I don't want to own that thought, because I do want you, my listeners, to share with me what do you want from me for this podcast. Yeah, just drop your suggestions, your ideas, and I would love to make them possible if I can. So yeah, I don't know what's next for me, but definitely I want something to look forward in this podcast. I guess the motivation that I have right now is that my former student again, Jabi told me about this when I started my podcast. He said, "Miss, your podcast is helping other people express what they are feeling, but definitely your podcast helps you grow." And when I heard Jabi said that, I realized that actually it's true. It helped me personally and professionally. I have never been this confident before, or I was, but I'm more confident right now because of this podcast. I never thought that I would love to share stories like this in public, because I'm really afraid of what other people might say. But here I am, that fear, oh my gosh, that's just an ex-fear. Now that I had 2 seasons of Sarah's Bedtime Stories, I feel like I have already documented my 20s because I wanted it to share with you. And I'm proud of it. Like, really. Another thing that I just want to share, it's just a cute story for me. I had a dream of becoming an endorser or a model for food or for a restaurant. Haha, because I really love eating a lot. As what my friend Jomar, the maman, says, all of my podcast episode, most of my podcast episodes do have this story about food. So guilty. The reason why I wanted this dream is because when I eat outside, either in fast food or in restaurant, people are looking at me while eating. Not sure, but still, they are looking. I assume they are looking because, let me know your thoughts. Just send me a message on my Instagram. Guess what? I was able to do it for my best friend's cake shop. Again, it's the Sweet Pastry Lubao branch. You can still avail 20 peso discount until today because it's my birth month. And it's another dream come true for me. It's just a cute dream, like a cute goal for me, but I did it. And everything about it started with the question, what's next? I never thought that after that feeling of what's next, I will be able to do some of the things on my bucket list. Just a personal story or just a personal note here. Before I started podcasting, I was okay, just okay. Nothing more, nothing less, binibining pat lang, that's what I say. But yeah, seriously, I had dreams or I set goals, but life didn't allow them to happen. And it was painful, I guess, to have dreams, to have those burning desires, but life will really show you that they were not meant for you. Accepting that idea that these dreams that you prayed for, that you hoped for, wouldn't happen anymore. It's so sad. It's like the reason why you are motivated again in life is because you have set these goals. And once you have prepared these goals, you will realize that they will not come true. They will not happen. So you have to move on and think about what's next. But glad that I have experienced all these because that was the time that I asked myself, what's next for me? So luckily, what's next has been a motivation for me. It made me realize that there is always something more, something to look forward. There is something more in life. There is a more to life, definitely. To end this podcast episode, just like when I started this episode, I am really thankful to my former students for being my answer to that question, what's next? I thought I'm okay with what I do. I thought my dream of communicating and inspiring others will stop when I resigned as a teacher. But now I feel like I am able to do that thing again because I'm doing this podcast. So to my former students, thank you for being my answer to that question. If not with your support, if not with your motivation, I wouldn't believe in myself that I can do this podcast. Also, you know that behind this podcast, my students are also helping me. I just feel like that I am dedicating this podcast to all of you. But I just want to emphasize how important you are to me, my dear students. You are really special to me and you always make me feel that I am loved. And I am always thankful for that. I cry. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. Without your support, without your help, Sarah's Bedtime Stories will not have 28 episodes. So now, if you want to ask me what's next for me or for Sarah's Bedtime Stories, The Art of 20s, you'll find out. Of course. Definitely. Kayo pa ba? This is Sarah's Bedtime Stories, The Art of 20s, Season 2, Episode 28. Good night. Mwah. If you will miss me, Just follow me on my socials, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. It's SAHMAELUGTU. And if you want to be more updated with the podcast, just follow my Facebook page. I already have one. It's Sarah's Bedtime Stories, The Art of 20s. Again, this is Sarah, and I'm really thankful for all of you for listening to my stories. I hope to share more stories, more inspiration in the next season. Bye! Hey, thank you for listening. Please do not forget to follow me on Spotify. It's Sarah's Bedtime Stories, The Art of 20s. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@Sarah's Bedtime Stories. Or you can follow me on my Instagram. It's @SAHMAELUGTU. Sa Melugtu. Thank you so much.